Hello, friends, and welcome to Babies and Broadswords. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Jason, and I'm going to be our sitter, and I'm also the, head writer for Babies and Broadswords. If you're joining us for the first time, go back and listen to session 0. Why are you even here?
It's very important.
It's very important. We are Even Footing Games. We are a group of both professional and amateur game designers. We're trying our hands at creating a company from the ground up, made up of games that we ourselves are creating, and our podcast is part of that process. If you're listening you are listening, so thank you. What we're going to be doing...
If you're listening, you're listening.
If you're listening, you're listening. Step one is done.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you. What we're going to be doing for this podcast is a little different from most role-playing podcasts. It's going to be part gameplay, part role-play, but also part game design. We're going to be stopping every now and then to maybe discuss a rule, to talk a clarification on things, to kind of discuss the decisions that we've made with this, that, or the other thing. So it's going to be a little bit of a kind of a behind the scenes how the sausage is made as well. If you like that, great, you found the right place. If you don't, stick around, maybe you will. But as I said, the first game that we're going to be working on is Babies and Broadswords, which is a very simple to play, easy to learn D6 system where all of the characters are toddlers with bad attitudes and parent issues. Yeah.
Definitely.
Or lack of parents. Yeah.
Or lack of parents. Actually, the issue with their parents is that they have none. So we're going to be getting into it today. This is actually our first opening gameplay session, and we're excited about it. So let's take a second to just catch everybody up, and we'll introduce ourselves and tell a little bit about the characters you're going to be playing, your class, your name, all of that stuff, and then we'll get right into it. Sound good?
Yep.
Sounds good.
I am looking at Aaron.
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm going to play Henry, the hypoallergenic. Henry is a dragon sorcerer, and he is kind of a bookwormy kid and took a kind of a self-help book and decided that he needed to bring his wishes into existence. So he named himself hypoallergenic because his allergies are really bad.
So he's trying to will himself out of being allergic to things.
Well, he has to hang around 2 cats all the time, so he can hope.
There you go. And Henry is a dragon?
He is a dragon and a sorcerer.
Sorcerer.
Easy for you to say.
Not easy for anyone to say. That's the point. Aaron is not mispronouncing that for comedic effect. Sorcerer is the name of the class because kids with speech impediments are funny. All right. Not really. Yeah.
It's terrible.
I know. I'm the worst person to write a game for kids. Lee, how about you?
I'm going to be playing the Furbolg de Bella. They are a Furbolg that came out of the woods of whopping, 2 acres away from the orphanage itself. They've been a long journey through, many, many trials, and somewhere along the way picked up a little mental companion. And so now she is a warlock. She has some sort of fungus growing inside her brain that is caused by the dark companion that encountered her along the way. So she's a warlock. She's got a couple of magical little things, but mostly she can talk to these companions once a day and get information from them. So excited about that.
This cute little cherub is basically infested with evil mushrooms.
Yes. I forget what they're called. I can't remember. I wrote it down. Cordyceps is the, that's it. That's the real one.
That's the real one. Yeah.
Yes, it's very much like Cordyceps and taking over, but she seems pretty chill about it. She's not too upset, so.
What's good? She can just roll with the punches.
Positive attitude.
That's right. There's plenty of room in this brain for multiple
There's
people.
advantages to having cordyceps
It's
on your
important
brain.
to have a positive attitude when you're infected by a parasite.
Yeah. We could all learn a lesson. We'll get the twins together. So Jenna, how about you start?
All right. Well, I am playing Isabeau, and Isabeau is a tabaxi, sneaky pants, and she's just cute as a button, and also very sneaky. Like kitties are. She really enjoys pushing random things off the counters while she gives you unnatural amounts of eye contact.
Just dead in the eye.
She has a brother who is her twin. And with that, I will pass it to Jimmy.
I am playing Ignatius Summer, and Ignatius is a tabaxi as well, and yes, Isabeau's twin. He doesn't like his name, however. He will tell people his name might be Alexander. He might tell people his name is Aurelius or Tiberius, and he thinks he's being clever. He's also a sneaky pants. He's quite adventurous, and he does not like to be seen. He likes to stay hidden and then jump out and then get hidden again. That's just kind of his thing, you know.
Attacking from the shadows. Yeah, I get you. No, that's pretty cat-like behavior, and I apologize to all the tabaxis out there if we were playing into negative stereotypes, but it seems to.
But I'm this many.
We're playing.
All the real life.
Allison, how about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Alison, and I'm going to playing Paragon, the Asama Mummy's Little Helper.
All right.
Also adorable, but in a
and also
sort of different
adorable.
way.
Very adorable. Upset my friend who loves Asama, and that's the main goal.
There you go. If we can upset people, that's the key.
That's why I wake up in the morning.
You may have noticed that most of our races are based on kind of the traditional D&D races. This is mostly a matter of personal preference. There are no set races in Babies and Broadswords. There are classes and feats and perks and stuff that help you define your characters, but you can be any race that you want to be. So if you want to borrow from Dungeons and Dragons, that's cool. If you want to borrow from another system that you like, if you just want to pull out, I'm gonna be an alien or whatever. I don't create my imagination.
If you want to play Baby Jon Snow,
you can be Baby Jon Snow, and you would know nothing.
The whiniest baby.
Her precociousness is 0.
The
Zero.
whiteness. Yeah.
No object permanence.
But remember, these kids are 3 and 4, so we're going to leave out the most uncomfortable part of Jon Snow's life.
Where he dies.
Yeah, where he dies. Yeah. Well, it's not really
Spoilers!
well, if that was the most uncomfortable.
That's
part.
where I
yeah,
started
more.
reading.
I was thinking more season 5, but yeah.
Sure.
I was just thinking we got to do like a Starfinder style future Babies and Broadswords at some point. They've got like a zillion races to choose from.
I'm actually working on multiple. When I started writing these one shots, I asked Jason right away, what's the era, and he said Dickensian. What is that? Late 1800s, mid 1800s, and I had already written a couple of one shots, one for a future setting and one for a Renaissance setting.
But it works. Yeah, that's the thing. The nice thing about this system is it can be ported. It's my games tend to be set in kind of that industrial era because that's what I think makes the most sense, because I definitely when I was writing this, I definitely got strong.
And I feel that now. I went back and started to rethink it, and like, oh yeah.
It's not quite medieval.
Yeah,
you might be used to.
Back when they didn't have child labor laws.
Right, exactly. When it was perfectly acceptable to treat children like
garbage.
They got in the way. Yeah.
Before we realized that children do have feelings.
No, and it's exhausting.
So many of them.
No, that early industrial Dickensian era was kind of when we understood enough about sanitation that kids would live regularly past 6 or 7. But we still didn't know
what are we going to do with them?
But we didn't know what to do with them all. Yeah,
They're really small. We can shove them up chimneys to clean them.
they got little hands. They can get into place. Yeah, exactly.
You can maintain this machinery.
Now when we have 10 kids, 9 of them are going to live. What am I going to do with all these extra kids? Yeah.
Sweatshop.
Make some money.
Whatever.
Thank you, capitalism. All right, let's get into this. Let's do it. You know what? Let's do this thing. Okay.
Let's actually play a game.
Let's do it.
Let's play a game. Lady Chastity's home for children and other errors and judgment sits alongside the Stangy River in one of the poorer quarters of the city of Nexus. A large square edifice, barred windows and rusted iron. The building once housed a different sort of guest, but times have changed, even if the criminal impulses of its residents remains the same. The walls of Lady Chastity's may have once been bright and colorful, but much like the souls of the nurses and administrators who work here, they've long since turned gray and lifeless. Still, there are sparks of life amongst these walls, a reminder that while life may end up in ceaseless drudgery, it doesn't start that way, and it certainly doesn't have to stay that way. There is still laughter in these halls, still signs of joy, because when all else seems pointless, when the dark seems impenetrable, farts are still funny.
Amen.
Bubbles the merbaby has just ripped a rather potent one. The leaking tub of water that he dwells in has a way of amplifying even the tiniest toot, and when he really gets going, the water churns and stinks like a boiling pot of fish heads. Bubbles is in rare form today, and Sister Beatrice, the young nurse in training, designated to keep an eye on you in your play area today, is having a hard time not bolting from the room. She tries to open a window, but they've all long since been painted shut, and she finds herself sidling closer and closer to the door. She looks at you all for a moment, opens the door a crack, quickly slips from the room, closing it behind her with a resounding thunk as the lock goes into place. Bubbles floats over to you in your direction and says, an exhausted look on his face, "She's gone, but I think I pooed my tub. So weak. Need cookies. Don't let my sacrifice be in vain." And then he sinks beneath the waterline. And so you find yourselves in your playroom. The group of you. The door has locked. There is no nurse. Bubbles has exhausted his tiny little body to provide a distraction for you.
Wait, did Bubbles just die?
No, Bubbles did not die.
No.
Bubbles did
We
not die.
start with baby death.
A positive start to our family-friendly game.
With a child peeing himself.
Starting off with
No,
the
no,
child
no.
death.
Bubbles is a merbaby. Bubbles can live under
Okay.
the water.
Okay.
He's in a giant like wooden copper tub thing, a barrel almost on wheels. So he kind of like wheels himself along.
And he wants to be down where the poo is.
Well, I mean, I think he's hoping it floats up to the top, and he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. Yeah.
Will it
They
float?
eat very specific foods.
We all float down here in this tub of merpoo.
Oh.
So you're in your playroom. Yeah, it's the middle of the day. The nurse has left, which never happens. She's locked the door behind her, but she has left you on your own, mostly because the smell is starting to hit. You're all down low, so you're kind of in the safe air right now. I guess there's a bit of a cloud up above.
Stink.
So of stink. So there might be also a bit of a time crunch to get out before Bubbles' blast of flatulence works its way down towards the floor air.
Go for the door.
He's asking for cookies.
Oh.
Oh, I give him 2.
What a drama, baby.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, 2 cookies? All right, we'll remove 2 cookies from your
Yes.
inventory, please.
I gotta get to the doorknob.
Henry has 12 cookies, so like he has.
Dang. Henry's
Henry
rich.
better
Yeah.
not be.
And
Henry better stop.
He's got a hoard.
You're stealing from
Yeah, you better
that.
stop flashing his cash around.
Henry, you've always been my favorite. I'm just
Well,
saying.
If you give 2 cookies to every baby that eats a bit. I've done it, sorry. I'll do this.
Oh, it's so
First line,
perfect
love it.
though.
You can't cover one swear with a worse swear out. That's not gonna work.
The term is poo.
Does it
doesn't
work?
she
I don't know why this is so hopeless.
Allie, Are you not a teacher of small children?
Clearly you're gonna work.
You just
Too
never
It's
early
a
to
Sunday.
tell,
That,
guys.
Bears in
that
English.
doesn't
They don't
work.
know what she's saying. Yeah.
Oh no, the kids know how to swear in English.
Thanks, Miss Webb.
Thanks, modern media. If you give 2 cookies to every baby that poops themselves, you're only going to be able to do it like 3 times, and then all 12 will be gone.
That's good math.
She's got her math right. I got to give her that.
Yeah.
She's right. She's right.
I'm about to poo my pants. Those
Isabel's gonna start pushing Ignatius towards the door. Like, no, you're not gonna poo your pants. You potty
Get off me.
You know how to use the Witter box.
Get off me.
No.
I want the cookies.
Yeah, David, I was trying to reach the doorknob to get the door open.
We must hide from the stench.
We get to get the out.
Oh, get out of here.
Daybella, you are too short to reach the door. Yep.
Yeah, Henry's also not too worried about it because he can't smell anything anyway.
He's so
Allergies.
stubborn. Yeah. He has a natural immunity. Yeah.
And
What's
they get
the
on my
merbaby's
shoulders.
name?
Okay, I climb on Ignatius' shoulders.
Okay. Give me a nimble check.
Nimbo.
I want to start pushing Bubbles' thing like towards the door. I'm gonna try and
You're
stand on
pushing
the
this
edge of
bucket
the tub.
towards the door. Okay.
Wait, why are you bringing the smell with us?
Why has Pooh Baby
We
come?
gotta get out of here.
All right. Well, hold on. Let's see if Isabel can climb up on Ignatius' shoulders first.
For the audience, we roll a d4 and then add our adventurousness
Right.
nimble checks.
Yes. To do a nimble check. This is our
7.
version of athletics. What's the 7?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ignatius, where are you standing right now?
I'm gonna stand right next to the door so that when she gets on my shoulders, she can reach the doorknob.
She scurries up, and this is a move that you guys have practiced multiple times.
Sneaky pants.
Yep. Sneaky pants. You've got your weird twin vibes going on there. And Isabeau, you're able to get the door, and your fingers are on the doorknob, but you don't have quite enough. You can't quite reach it to the point where you can turn it. You're just kind of
We
like,
did it a tippy toes.
Right, I'm gonna stretch. Here we go.
oh, he's stretching. Now I want a muscly roll from you because you're trying to get a couple extra inches out, and you've got someone exactly your same size standing on your shoulders.
Weird.
Become a long cat.
Long cats.
I have a 10 on my muscle.
Ooh, that'll do it.
Max.
Ignatius does indeed. He stretches up, and you hear those couple extra kitty vertebrae that they got.
Like a bendy straw.
Yep, exactly. Isabeau, you were able to get your paws on the doorknob, and you give it a turn and kind of push yourself back so you can swing the door open. And it swings open about maybe 3 inches. But then you see the latch on the outside of the door where she has latched
A
the
little
room
chain.
from the outside. She got a little chain on there. So you open it to
This
the
is
chain.
job for forking. Forking.
Fork that chain. Meanwhile, over Daybella is putting her shoulder up against Bubbles' tank and pushing. It rolls easy enough, but I'm gonna need you to give me a precociousness roll, just a straight precociousness roll, because you are so close to the source of the smell.
No.
We're gonna have to see if your old tum tum can handle it. Yeah.
So that's a D6 plus precociousness?
Yep.
Wait, you said D4?
Yeah, it's a D4 plus your precociousness. Yep.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought it was D6. I'll roll again. So that is a 10.
Okay. You hold your breath, and maybe there's little mushroom tendrils that weave their way through your brain and cover up your smell sensors a bit.
I'm used to musty smells.
Living on
There you
s'mores.
go. Yeah.
My nose is a mushroom.
Yeah, your nose is a mushroom. You push it up against the door, so you're next to the door. So the kittens have managed to get the door open a couple inches before they've fallen back in an adorable little kitten puddle, and they've broken out into a little adorable kitten wrestling match, which any other time would be just ah. but it's like, hey, we don't have time for you two to play around.
Not for me.
Henry wants to take his heavy whacking book and
Okay.
use it like a lever, like in that crack of the door, and push on it so that he can try and pop the chain.
Henry, you're a genius.
He is the genius. That's
I
pretty
know.
smart.
I know.
Give yourself +1 to this roll for being smart with the item. The way items and things kind of work in this game is that anything the babies find from looking around, they can use. But if they come up with a particularly good use of it, the sitter can give them a bonus, usually +1 to their roll. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes. Am I using adventurousness or am I using precociousness for this?
Use precociousness because you're using this as a lever. You've mastered simple tools. Yeah.
So I got a 12.
Is that +1?
That is plus the 1, plus my
Okay.
precociousness, which is already a 7, and I rolled max.
A lot of crit successes this morning.
Aw.
Daybella is on. She's bouncing on the Bubbles' lid, trying to reach up. And Henry rolls up and hands her his book and kind of shows, mimics, use this. So Daybella is able to take Henry's heavy whacking book and just pop the door chain right off. Henry, as the door chain falls to the ground, the locking mechanism with about, maybe 3 inches of chain kind of land right at your feet.
I would like to pick that up.
Okay, so you have a lock on a chain that you can put into your inventory.
You need to stop.
Just real quick, how do we do carrying again? You can only carry so many items. And I
Yes,
forget
you
how
can.
we did
Yeah,
that.
thank you. Your carrying capacity is based upon your adventurousness. So let me pull up the list, and so everyone can know what you're carrying, or how much you can carry, I should say.
And worn items don't count, correct?
Worn items do not count.
Okay.
Do the items we have with us from our class count?
No, they are freebies. Yep, the ones that you start. So if your adventurousness, your base adventurousness is 1 to 2. Actually, I guess we've changed that around. So if your base adventurousness is 2, then you can carry 4 items. If it's 3, you can carry 5 items. If it's 6, you can carry 6 items. Special items can be found that will increase your carrying capacities, such as the Sneaky Pants' pillowcase loot bag, or the backpack with a froggy on it, which is a special item. Some items are not affected by carrying capacity and will be specified as such. So worn items, some things are like face paint that you might find, that's not going to count against your carrying capacity. But your lock with a chain, Henry, will count against your inventory list. If you've got kids, if you know kids, they will pick up anything and everything.
And probably lick it.
And probably lick it.
Put it in their mouth.
Well, then nobody else can take it because it's yours.
Yeah,
You
that makes
claimed it. Yeah. It makes perfect sense to me. That's why I like to go into the safe and lick all the money at work. So people can realize
Ah.
Oh no. That's why you have strep throat.
That's why I have strep throat. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have strep throat from my children who lick everything.
And they get it from their dad.
That licking apple did not fall far from the tree. So between all of you, teamwork made that dream work, and the door stands popped open. Bubbles is in his tub and well, can we see down the hallway? What do we see?
Isabeau is actually just going to scamper up, like pull herself out of the kitty puddle and just scamper out of the room and not say anything to Bubbles.
Not just straight by off. You do indeed scamper out of the kitty puddle, and Ignatius is both glad to not have somebody sitting on his head, but also a little upset that he was not the first one to scamper out of the kitty puddle. Paragon, Henry, Daybella, Isabeau has just zipped on past you on her little paws out of the door and into the hallway.
I want to take a peek after I pop the chain open and just kind of peek around the corner.
Peek around. You see there's a long hallway. There are rooms up and down the hallway to your right and your left, doors that are closed. You know, down the left-hand side of the hallway is where the other playrooms are. So there are other kids probably being looked over by a nurse who are engaged in their activities, their colorings. Down the right is the direction towards the cafeteria, which would be closed right now because it's not a regular meal time. But that actually might not be a bad thing because it means there's probably
Nobody there.
nobody there. Isabeau, you ran out into the hallway.
Mhm.
Give me a cuteness roll.
Okay.
And this will be just a kawaii check.
A kawaii.
So if you have anything that helps your kawaii rolls.
I don't have anything that helps that.
Okay.
But
So just a d6 plus a d4.
I got.
Or I'm sorry, your adventureness plus, or your cuteness plus a d4. Yeah.
And I get a +1 to cuteness as a sneak pants, right? So I have 7 for.
That's always, yeah, that's always there. Yeah, that +1 bonus.
Okay. So then I got a 9.
Okay. Your little kitty nose twitches and you smell the unmistakable scent coming down from the cafeteria of baked goods warming on a warming dish. Someone's been baking something good. Here's the weird thing about that. Nobody bakes anything for you guys. Y'all get porridge from a never-ending bowl of porridge. Isabeau pops open the door so that you all have access, and she's just standing in the hallway, like waving her arms towards the room as if she's trying to blow a good smell in, maybe to counteract the bad smell that's lingering.
My golly, guys, what is that wonderful smell? Do you smell that?
I think I only smell Bubbles. And guys, I don't want to be mean or anything, but I don't think we can be very sneaky. If we bring him, we will.
I better get this from the start.
Okay, I gave him cookies. So
He's got cookies.
Good.
He's good.
He's good.
Guys, we gotta move
He can
fast.
wheel himself.
Sorry, Bubbles.
My original plan was to use him as a battery ram, so I'm done with Bubbles now. Daybell
Bubbles
is
has
going in the
fulfilled his
hallway.
usefulness.
But Bubbles is just in the door. He's just like right out in the corner of the, like he's not in the doorway, but he's like right at the edge of the doorway, and he is just kind of watching you. And he waves. He's much more concerned about the fact that he's kind of stuck to one side of his tub, while a mysterious thing kind of floats in his.
I don't think it's
Yeah, bye,
mysterious.
Bubbles.
You got your own baked goods.
Oh, God.
He's like shy. He's nibbling on one of the cookies. And you can see his deep in
Corn
thought. And he
muffin.
kind of,
Watching the floater.
yeah, he's giving you away. He's like, I have my own problems to deal with right now. Thank you. Good luck
Faith
out
in
there. Good luck out there. Just kind of casting. As you leave, you can see him kind of casting around for something to maybe scoop and flop out. So are you all in the hallway now then?
Fine. Yeah.
Absolutely. In the hallway, heading toward the kitchen.
The hallway is empty right now, but we don't know how long that will be the case.
Yeah, Isabeau is scampering to the kitchen, like just like zoomy tabaxi style, like just
Mm-hmm.
vroom, vroom.
She's moving super speedy.
Yep.
As you zip past some of the other rooms, are all of you running towards it, or some of you being a little sneaky? Like, what's everyone's style to get down the hallway?
I think Henry is 100% trying to be stealthy and probably not. Probably his wings are kind of awkward and maybe bumping into the wall and
Golly, Henry.
He's just not very coordinated.
Just watch me. Watch me. Watch it. Cover your eyes. Like a dragon.
And suddenly, no one can see Ignatius.
Why did you do that?
So stealthy.
Daybell is gonna hang around the door and just kind of see what happens first before she joins in.
She's the smart kid, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if somebody else gets caught before, so I can have plausible deniability. I was in the room the whole time. I don't know what.
Well, the lady, the sister, she's right in front of the door, right? Like trying to
I don't know where
waft
she went.
the sound,
Yeah,
smell.
She just,
Oh, okay.
all you know, she snuck out and locked the door. I don't
Okay.
know where she went.
Okay. Never mind then.
Probably outside having a smoke, and I'm just trying to
Bad day.
thinking about her life choices. Yeah. Do I
Nope.
really want? Yeah. Sister Beatrice is one of the newer nurses, so there might still be time for her to get out with her her love of life
Dignity intact?
still intact. Yeah, and her dignity for that matter. Yeah. She's not quite as dead behind the eyes as some of the other nurses. Yeah.
I like it when they were dead behind their eyes when I asked him to wipe my butt.
Do you just maintain eye contact all throughout?
That's what cats do.
Oh yeah.
Geez, yeah. I wonder if tabaxi's. Anyway, that's a whole other podcast. Yeah.
The story for another day.
That's Jorgen Blankheimer's D&D Blankapalooza.
No, that's all that
Yeah.
with their own butt.
All right. As you make your way down the hallway, Ignatius he's covered his eyes and is kind of stealthily. He's like jumping from shadow to shadow, he thinks, but he's really just kind of jumping down the hall. Henry, you try to do the same, but you just keep bouncing into walls.
I was gonna say if I do that, like it's probably worse.
He's just like chunking into walls and stuff.
Don't away, Henry.
Thanks.
I didn't see you for a second.
No, I'm invisible. Basically, completely invisible.
Basically completely invisible.
Like a dragon. Yes, got it. You are a dragon.
I am a dragon.
I just realized that.
You're so smart.
Oh, I know everything.
Erwin, what is your name again?
My
Didn't
name?
you yeah,
I'm Augustus.
Augustus. My yeah.
That's Ignatius.
Don't. Shh. I'm been incognito. Golly,
You is Sukido.
you grabbing my style always.
I'm the one with styles.
Bow is not a style. Every little girl got a bow.
That's a sty, by your right. It's not a style.
Yeah.
I like you, Pelgon.
Taking care of you.
Let's get to the bottom of this smell. Okay, guys?
Go in the kitchen.
Smells good. Henry, as you're bouncing around, you clump up against a door that swings open at your touch. And you look inside, and it's a small supply closet. It seems to be just kind of full with all sorts of stuff. Daybella, you are so close enough that the second Henry bangs into that door and makes the noise, and the door goes, brah. Everyone freezes for a second. And Daybella, you kind of poke your head back into the
Possible deniability.
plausible deniability. Wasn't in the hallway.
Henry wants to look in there.
Henry, you poke your little dragony head in there, and it looks like it's a room, or it's a little closet, but it seems to be full of old broken toys, like things that are half kind of half ruined. If you want to take a moment to search around, you can look and see if there's anything you can find in there.
I do. I want to find something sharp.
Ooh!
What you got, Henry?
Roll me a precociousness roll.
Okay.
I don't know what you came up with.
So 3 + 6, and all my precociousness rolls get an extra D or extra 1.
It's just like basically to your main stat.
Okay.
It's
So
it's your base stat. Yeah.
Okay, so 10.
So 10.
We got babies on fire today.
You don't find anything sharp, but what you do find is a very pretty bird feather that's just kind of like, obviously someone found it, and they maybe it came off of a hat or something like that, but it is bright green and it is about 7 inches long. And this is an item called a pretty feather that you found. And what this does, it's a single-use item, and it can remove 1 grump. So if you take grump damage, this can remove a grump because it's very pretty. So you kind of gently place this in I guess your pocket or put it behind your ear. How do you want to carry this very pretty feather?
I think in my pocket right now. I already kind of messed up with the cookies, guys. So I think I put it in my pocket like way down. Deep in my pocket as I can.
Your soft heart will always be appreciated by me.
Thanks, Ignatius.
Did you find treasure?
Erwin.
Augustus. I don't know Ignatius.
Ignatius.
I thought his name was Ingrid.
Guys, it's Augustus.
Augustus.
Okay.
Of course.
Name is Ignatius. That's Iggy.
Iggy, I'm gonna hurt you. For real this time.
Ooh.
Gotta catch me first.
Can we just get to the Tweeties, okay? I just want to get to the Tweeties.
Why don't you fuck off?
Oh.
Well, I never.
Roll initiative, you two.
Ah.
Hello, this is Jimmy, and I play Ignatius. We're really excited to start even footing games and begin work on Babies and Broadswords. This endeavor is a baby itself for us, and there's a couple of things you can do to help. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Even Footing Games. Give us a review on whatever podcast app with which you listen. Support us on Patreon. The money from there will go toward podcast costs, game development, booths at conventions, and so much more. Also, we have a booth at the Ice and Dice Gaming Convention coming up in Cincinnati, Ohio. It runs from January 21st through the 23rd in 2022. So stop by, say hello, get into a game. The music you've been hearing was provided by The Gentlemen, and their song is called Rubber Ball. So that's it for now. Thank you for listening.
How do we roll initiative?
Initiative in this case, well, if we decide to call it initiative, I don't know what we're gonna. I guess that wouldn't make the most sense, but I don't know if we're gonna get into
Turn order, whatever.
Big kids rule time, yeah. For combat, yeah. Turn order is that what we want to call it? I guess
turn order, I think, is better.
Yeah, my thinking in this one is all right. We want to steer away from. Oh, folks at home, big kids rule time.
Everybody take turns.
Taking turns,
yeah.
Yeah.
Big kids rule time. Everyone at home, I should have mentioned this is when we're going to have a discussion about something about the game. So when one of us says big kids rules or big kid time, that's when we're going to step away from the game for a second, from the playing. So taking turns makes sense. Everyone takes a turn. Okay.
Everyone take turns. Yeah.
Everyone takes a turn. Okay. To take your turn or to figure out who was first, I have it based right now on it's your adventurousness. But does that make sense to do? I guess, or do we want to? I mean, I guess that would make them, or should it be situational? Because if we're in a combat where the idea is to maybe cute your way out of things, then maybe we go for cuteness as a skill.
Yeah, or smart your way out of it.
Or if you're trying to figure out a puzzle and clever your way out of it, maybe, yeah. Because that's the thing. I do want, and maybe this is getting too difficult, but I do want kind of different kinds of combat. Like I do want fighting combat and thinking combat and cutie combat. So maybe,
which is why I like the turn taking rather than initiative.
Because you're taking your turn depending on what the situation is.
Yeah.
So will your taking turns be based on your action then at that point? Like, say, for instance, I'm going to swing Paul's, and Isabeau may perhaps be trying to cute her way out. So I may be using adventurous for my role, and she may be using cuteness or precociousness or something for hers.
Right.
To calm you down. Yeah.
To calm you down. So I think that might be the case. Then in that instance, it might be up to the sitter to decide what's going to be the deciding factor to decide who gets to take the first turn. But in all combats, it's the player can decide how they are attacking and defending and what state their status, what stat they're using to do so.
Using the word attacking loosely here, right?
Loosely, yeah. Taking their turn,
We're gonna call it sibling rivalry.
rivalry. One of the reasons we're doing it this way, I just want to kind of point out is if anyone is listening, thinks that they have a cool idea for something, you can always hit. Where can they let us know that, Jason?
evenfootinggames@gmail.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at evenfootinggames. I think on Twitter we're evenfooting because it was too many characters.
And you can
if you
always
have a short attention span, go to Twitter.
just drop a comment below.
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, bro.
Or
Links
comment
below.
on the YouTube video.
Comment below in the YouTube video. Yes, but that's a big thing. Thank you.
We'll
Thank
still
you.
read comments on YouTube for now.
Right, until they make me sad.
Until we're too famous
As long
to
as they're entertaining.
manage that ourselves.
Well, yeah.
Since we want to make games that appeal to the audience, to our audience as well, and we've got a really good kind of cross group of different gaming styles and players, but we want to make games that the audience is going to like. So if we come up with a rule that we think works, but you've got a better idea, please feel free to share. And when we start getting some commenters and some mail, we'll read those and give folks their kudos for the help. Right, the credit. Exactly. Thank you. I'm sorry. Speaking of kittens wrestling, I've got two of them on the hardwood floor behind me. Go ahead.
Asius and Ibo are there in person.
Yep, they're right there in person.
Go, Izzy, go, Izzy.
Immersive gameplay.
So in this case, then, since we're going to do a little mini combat between you two, we're gonna kind of act out your kitten fight. I'm gonna call adventurousness being the one that this. No, well, let's see. This is where the sitter comes in. Yeah, no, adventurousness is going to be the stat that we're going to use. So it's going to be your adventurousness plus a 1d. Do we want to go 4 or 6? And that's the other thing we need to figure out. Is 4 our base? What is? So I think we might get rid of the 1d4 altogether. I think we'll just stick with 1d6s. That way you don't have to go digging for a 1d4 because they're not always the easiest dice to find.
So when we start doing adventurous rolls, or if we also are doing, say, muscly or kawaii rolls, will we be doing a 1d6 in the future?
We'll just do a 1d6 across the board. We're going to get rid of one. I think, does that make sense? Just to get rid of 1d4s and just stick with 1d6? Or
Throw them in the garbage. Take all your caltrops.
Dun, 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 dun.
don't actually throw it away though, Jimmy, because you'll step on it and those suckers hurt.
It's in the bag.
If you'd
He's
like
not
to
going
take
anywhere.
the options of these crystal style D4.
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah.
Those are pretty.
We'll go back on that'll be a work in progress. I think right now we stick at 1d6s and just drop the 1d4s, but based on the math later on to kind of balance out things, the 1d4 might be
It
Might
may
come
make an
back.
a good way to
appearance.
go. Yeah.
But now I do like
Let's
the
test
d6s, just having a
1d6.
couple. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we'll just go with the 1d6 for ease of use right now. Maybe
Get a slightly larger range that we can play with as well.
exactly. Yeah,
That's what I
I'm
was thinking too.
Yeah.
Less ties.
Just more
That's when you're in-
possibilities to roll.
Awesome. So we're gonna go 1d6s then.
It's nice when you're introducing new people as well, because there's not any weird.
Exactly. Yeah,
dice
that's
to
that's
relate
No
that's the
to.
other
spooky
thing
dice
too that I was
here
telling-
with their many
Yeah,
sides.
There's only normal, non-nerdy dice here. It's
You
okay.
You come out of the Monopoly box and you're good to go. Yeah.
Ready to play B&B.
Exactly. Drop and play.
So my adventurous taking turns is going
Yes.
to be an 8 total.
And Isabeau, how about yours?
Let's see. For adventurousness, I got a 9.
All right, so back to the game then. Big kid time off. Isabeau and Ignatius, you've had the way your relationship tends to work is that there are about maybe 2 or 3 thrown insults back and forth, and then the kitten fight puddle starts right up again. You don't really have battles. You have one continuous war with brief periods of ceasefires, but it's a fight all along. So you've got the upper paw this time, Isabeau. Your brother he's on his forepaws. He's hunched his back up. His hair's, his tail's wide up. His little monocle is dangling. What do you want to do?
I want to pull his tail.
Pull his tail? All right. How are you going to do that?
So I'd like to scamper around him and then grab his tail and then keep scampering around. So I'm kind of like pulling him in a circle.
Okay. So combat wise, everything is an opposed roll. So this is, I'm going to say, since you are physically attacking, this is going to be, and this will be an adventurousness roll.
Is this a time I can use push pull?
Ooh, that's a good question. Push pull
Pulling
is,
him in a circle.
yeah, it's trying to pull him in a circle.
I think that sounds doable.
I think so. Let me check here. I think push pull is a perk, which are usually only used for skill challenges. So let me take a look real quick and see if this skill affects all muscly skill challenges. Yeah, push
I'm
pull is
sorry. I mean forward roll.
also only for skill challenges. Yeah.
Okay.
Since this is going to be an attack, I think we'll have to use straight up attack.
Okay.
Because Jimmy, I'm guessing, is going to try to dodge out of this the tail grab. Am I all right?
Yes.
So for combat, you're both going to be rolling an adventurousness roll, and and if Jenna, you roll higher, the attack is successful, and whatever the difference in damage is, or the difference in the dice rolls, that's the damage taken. So why don't you go ahead and roll?
I got an 8.
I have a 7. I rolled as low as possible. I rolled a 1.
You did.
Oh,
Good job.
dang.
So Isabeau, you do indeed scamper around Ignatius, and you grab him in his tail in your teeth, and you just drag him a couple inches in a circle.
It's a bow.
Ignatius!
Normally, you would take one ouchie damage in this case, since it's a physical attack. But since we're just kind of doing a mock combat, you're not really going to take the. But she snagged you. You got the upper hand. She's got the upper hand on that one, and she spun you in a circle and is yelling your name at you.
Okay. Does that make it my turn?
That does make it your turn.
I am going to do a kitten sweep and try to scamper between her legs and underneath of her to make her lose her balance.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So you're trying to just go under her?
Yeah.
So actually, I think this would be a nimble, I guess, or this would be an adventurous. So yeah, give me an adventurous roll as well.
11.
Ooh, Jenna, what do you got?
7.
Ignatius gets under. His center of balance is lower. He's a little bit bigger. Around to tom.
I call it more adventurous.
He slides under Isabeau and he pushes himself up with all 4 of his paws. And Isabeau goes flying tail over tea kettle and rolls off him and kind of lands on their back with her paws up in the air. And due to the significant difference in size between that 13 and 7, we're going to say Ignatius won this fight tonight, this particular battle. He knocked you over in such a manner that you're kind of dazed and seeing stars. Do you want to claim dominance in this particular fight, Ignatius? You want to do anything from there? She's on her back and she's kind of blinking up at the ceiling. Yeah.
This is not the first time, nor will it be the last, that Augustus wins, but we got pressing battle at hand.
Ignatius.
Don't make me do it again. We gotta get to the sweeties.
Fine. She just like gets up from her on her back and starts scampering towards the kitchen.
All right. You both start scampering. Meanwhile, the rest of you just been standing back and watching this. Like
Just waiting.
Henry and
This happens.
yeah, just waiting. Like Dave Bell every now and then we'll look down the hallway just to make sure no one's coming. But it's just like, come on, guys. Come on. Yeah. Bubbles probably already pooed his tank again by this point. You stand in front of the cafeteria doors and the smell is wafting from underneath the doors. I mean, you've all kind of got your noses like right underneath the crack of the door, just taking in this magical aroma.
I still can't smell it.
It's even getting through your snot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're just getting like the aftertaste, but like when the sommeliers do the and claim they get an aftertaste of oak or whatever, even though they're full of crap. That's kind of what you're getting. You're getting just a hint of something delicious.
I think I also got a hairball too.
Who are you licking? You're a dragon. How do you get a hairball?
I think
You're
I
covered in
breathed it in.
scales.
I think Isabeau and Ignatius Augustus are shedding.
Oh, there's probably just cat hair all over the place. Yeah.
They're always shedding.
Yeah.
Just constantly.
Never not
constantly.
shedding.
Yep. Ugh, it's a nightmare. My allergies are acting. I'm just thinking about that. Sorry, my son is trying to groom the cat with one of those little cat brushes, and the cat is
Not having
Makes
it.
me so angry.
You gotta
No,
wait a little
he's-
bit. Yeah.
he's blissed out. He's just like
Oh.
Oh yeah,
little-
they like being brushed.
his little paws are just getting weak. I can see his like legs quivering. He's like, oh. All right. All right. So you all stand in front of the door in this heavenly smell. They're double doors. So when they are open, they open outwards to allow for kids to come in and come out because cafeteria time is it's probably the most regimented just because they're trying to get a lot of kids in and out of the cafeteria. But right now the doors are closed.
We'll pull them open.
Yeah, just like
Can we reach
just
the handle?
crack them.
Can Isabel get her little tiny paw under there and like put her claws out and then try to like pull the door? Like, cats do that. They try
Like cats do that? Yeah, they do.
their little hands under the door and then they
Yeah. And of course, sure enough, someone's going to the bathroom in there, so you know exactly what to do.
yeah.
Someone's trying to have a moment of peace.
Yeah, that's exactly.
The nurses are trying to have She's like, hey, where you going without me?
Jimmy and Aaron, you can attest to this. Little kids will do the same thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I haven't peed by
Yeah.
myself in years.
Mhm, mhm. The first time I looked and saw, little 3-year-old fingers just kind of reaching under the doorway. I was like, are you kidding me right now? Yeah.
Nope. Absolutely not 100%.
No, 100%. Yeah.
Not a joke.
All right. The doors do go. They do open up. Daybella, you kind of scamper up jump off of Henry a little bit and grab one doorknob, and Isabeau, you manage to pull the door open from the other side, and there's a kind of swing open. Think about the cafeteria. It's a great big room with wooden benches and tables in groups, and when the kids go in for food, they tend to set them in certain groups by age. So kids your age will be in one group, kids a couple years older will be in another group, kids a little younger would be in a third group. And as a result, this has kind of given birth to very territorial turf wars amongst the kids, as a way of putting it. The little kids don't go to the big kids table. The medium kids don't go to the little kids table, that sort of thing. Folks will protect their turf with their lives. So
I want to go sit at the big kids table.
you know what? To have the fact that there are no big kids around.
100%. Henry wants to go over there and first to put a finger on see if anybody gets mad at him, and then he'll go sit on the seat and be like, yeah.
Henry, you are amazing. That's the smartest idea I ever heard.
Thank you.
As he's doing this, I'm going to reach into my pocket for my blasters and be looking around cautiously, just waiting for trouble to break out.
Ignatius will march over and have a seat at the big kids table and scoot up and put his elbows up on the table.
This is obviously pretty great.
Amazing.
I can't wait till we get to stay here all the time.
Isabel, bring me food.
Put your own food.
Dabella's looking for the snacks. She's sniffing around.
Same. Isabel's on a mission.
I don't care about the seat.
I don't care about turd wars. That's really more Bubbles territory.
I'm typing that in as we speak. Turd
Future
wars.
mission.
Got it. Future mission. Turd wars. I think we found our meta plot, guys. we found our Avengers Endgame.
Woo! Win the turd war.
The Turd Wars. Henry and Ignatius, you are indeed sitting at the big kids table, and it is you have to stretch a bit because the tables are higher. So Henry, you just kind of just manage to peek over the edge, and yeah, Ignatius, you're kind of like on you crinkle your spine a couple more things again, and get yourself a couple extra inches. You're just kind of balancing on your tail. And the two of you are like, blah, 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 math, blah, 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 reading, blah, blah.
I am not this many anymore. I'm that many.
Exactly.
I think Henry starts talking about when he can fly, when his wings come in, and like how wonderful it is to be a flying creature.
What a glorious day that would be, Henry.
I'll give you a ride, Augustus, Ignatius.
Why you got
Erwin.
both?
I am trying to give all of your names that you've ever given.
Well,
I'm collecting them. I'm going to write them all in my book.
It's a fairy dragon.
Okay. Big kid timeout real quick. I personally love these little moments between the characters. This is a big part of what I want. So one of the my answer, the game's answer to inspiration was gold stars, which have been given out for. They're supposed to be given out for clever ideas. Just doing something clever or smart or fun or whatever the case may be. I would also. You think it would be good to kind of reward these little bits of character development as well? I think that would go a long way too.
I think it depends on your sitter, but sure.
How do you get to use the gold stars?
Absolutely.
Gold stars are, and I will tell you what the gold stars are.
Insert explanation here.
Insert
gold stars.
Gold stars. If you receive a gold star, and of course now I got to find where my gold stars are.
Paul, Rufus, and Gus Gus. They do
Yes.
good work for you.
Yes. Gold stars are awards given out by the sitter for particularly impressive acts of toddler antics or good role playing. They can be used to combine 2 stats and a d6 for the results of any roll. So instead of just rolling your adventurousness and the d6 for something, you could roll your adventurousness. You add your adventurousness and precociousness and then the d6. So they're just a way of getting it like a super successful roll.
Holy whack-a-mole.
So I'd like to give both of you two. That was a delightful exchange, a gold star.
Oh, okay.
But does that make sense as an addition for the sitter, or do we want to leave that up to the sitter's discretion as to what they?
I think that we could certainly put it in the book for like a suggestion. People can always choose not to do that, but what constitutes good role play?
I guess that's going to be yeah.
I think character development.
That is very subjective.
I mean, that's very subjective.
Because not everyone is like super outgoing and
yeah. Which is why I don't want it to be just exactly. No, that's fair. And I think that also leads up to, I mean, it's the same with inspiration.
Exactly.
If a good DM sees a character who's been in their shell kind of coming out a bit more, they'll give them inspiration for that,
Yeah. And we're the players who are constantly just role playing all the time, like
Right.
I find some of us might be, this is a way
Some
early
really
on.
good at it. Yeah.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's just that I like to spotlight hog, Let's call a spade.
Attention.
I like attention. So right
Stop
now,
interrupting Jimmy Lee.
this might be
Sorry.
a great time to do that for the sitter, but in the future, that use it to kind of groom the game to your discretion as a sitter. You want to promote good role playing or character development, or if you find you're always giving one person that gold star, try to spread the love and find what the other players do well also. I think that's very malleable.
Reward the behavior you want to see.
But I guess this is going to be up to sitter discretion. I think like most things like this are. It's
Yeah. I wasn't trying to say we need to write anything down.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah. It is subjective.
More for the
Absolutely
listeners.
Right.
Discretion.
It is very subjective, and I think it works better to not have hard and fast rules as to what gets gold stars or not. Yeah. It's up to discretion. But I personally, the things that I tend to look at are if I give you 2 pencils, a marble, and a piece of string, and you turn that into a slingshot, I'm going to give you a gold star for that because I think that's clever. Or if you have a nice little bit where two little kids are pretending to be big kids at a table, I think that's cute too. So that's for me, that's sort of thing I'm gonna look like. But when Lee or when Jimmy runs the game, they might be interested in different things. And I don't think it hurts one way or the other. I think it's really it's just a way for, like Ali said, it's for the sitter to groom the players and to kind of although
Maybe
that's a terrible way to say that.
groom.
Yeah, maybe groom is the wrong word to use, but yeah.
That's a much more sinister way of saying it, but yeah.
You can groom a kitten.
I mean, they are kittens. You can groom kittens.
Awesome. Okay. That was just a little thought I had, man. I'm going to write that down. Big kid time over. Okay. While Henry and Augustus are pretending to be big kids and occasionally talking about Henry's just like flapping his wings. Ignatius
Are they getting bigger? Are they getting bigger?
Yeah, they're bigger. Yeah,
I think so.
I must increase my wings.
I think so.
I think I'm growing right now.
Just from being at the big kid table.
Exactly.
Daybella and
ground.
it is. Yeah, Daybella and Isabeau are a little. They're on a mission. They have followed the smell. You're wandering past all the tables, and you come to the kitchen. Now, the way the kitchen is set up, there's a door into the kitchen, but there's a big window, open area that rises about 5 feet off from the ground. So it's like it's like the order up window in a diner. It's like it's where the people can grab the food off of the bench and the cook can put it right on. And the smell seems to be coming from that open air area. And you can't quite see because you're still too short, but you can just make out what appears to be the edge of a metal sheet just kind of poking over the edge of the bench of the bar area.
So Isabeau's are there any chairs or are they like lunch table like benches?
It's all benches. Yeah. It's all big long benches, which it would probably take all of you to move the benches because they are big and they would make a heck of a lot of noise. You're welcome to try, but
Are there any like milk crates or anything anywhere?
Nothing like that. Why don't you give me a precociousness roll to look around, see if you can find anything.
Daybella's gonna see if she can reach it, just try and like climb up on some like shelving or whatever is below it.
There's no shelving. It's just it's a
it's just like a flat wall.
Yeah, it's just a flat wall. On a 7, Isabeau, you're looking for something to stand on. You do see underneath one of the tables, somebody has left a dolly that has no legs. So you think it might have been just abandoned because the legs are probably somewhere else. They've probably been thrown on the other side.
I put it in my pillowcase.
All right, you got a dolly with no legs.
Great.
What are you gonna do with it? I don't know, but have fun with that.
Throw it at somebody. Need Ignatius with it later.
I immediately the first thought we were talking about like a dolly that you move stuff with.
Yeah, like you like push stuff. I was like, she just puts it in her bag. What?
I immediately was trying to think of how to use it as a catapult because we have cats.
That was a very adult thought of you guys.
Yeah, it's a doll with no legs. You might the other legs you might be around somewhere. Yeah.
Then I'm going to use my little pokey fork and try to like poke some holes in the wall that I can use my little kitten claws to try to climb up there to get it.
Well, I was just gonna say to Daybella, as you're kind of looking for places to hold, there are it is exposed brickwork, so you think that you could probably climb up to some extent. You can probably free climb if you want to give me an adventurousness roll to see if you can get up there. And in this case, this would be a nimble skill challenge. So if you have the forward roll perk, or you have a feat that helps your nimbleness, this would be a time to use it.
Okay.
But otherwise, it's just an adventurousness roll. It's a 1d6 plus 6.
Okay. Plus 6?
Mm-hmm.
Why 6?
Or whatever your adventurous base stat is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I said that wrong. It's your adventurousness plus a 1d6, I should say.
Okay. So who's doing this?
Right now, it's you, Daybella. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's a 4. I'm not very adventurous.
You get a couple. You like get to the point where you've got handholds, but you're too kind of afraid to lift your feet off the ground. So you're just kind of like 1 foot up and
I'll just get spooked.
yeah,
I don't know.
no, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Too high.
Paragon.
Yep.
Give me a precociousness roll.
Okay. A D6 plus my
Yes,
precociousness.
please.
That is a 7.
Off to your left, while you've got your band-aids and your syringe ready because you know something's going to happen to somebody. Off to your left, there is you catch the sight of maybe something moving. And when you look over to see what it is, there's like and there's nothing there. But off to your right, you get a sense of something moving as well. But when you look over, nothing there. And this happens a couple more times till finally, and this is always uncomfortable when you do it, but you can do it for brief periods of time. You've got those extra sets of eyes, and you manage to get one set of eyes looking one way, one set of eyes looking the other way. And it's like the reverse of crossing your eyes. So just, cross your eyes and then imagine doing that in reverse. And that's, you can't really, it hurts, but you can do it for a second. There is a cat, a black cat, and it is literally disappearing and then reappearing on the other side of you. And it's just bouncing back and it's looking at you and it's in attack state. And every time it feels you looking over towards it, it disappears and then it reappears on the other side. And it's just back and forth.
Blink cat.
But every time it poofs, it's a little bit
guys,
closer than
I
it was
think
before.
Maybe we made the bigger tabaxi a bit angry. I think we might have taken his spot.
Is anybody here? Anybody listening?
I'm not close enough, I don't think. I was on the other side.
I think I'm by the
I think
table.
I'm talking about flying with Augustus.
I don't think
Henry,
anybody is
Henry,
here.
there's a big tabaxi kid here. I think he's mad. I think he's sitting in his spot.
Wait, did you want to come sit at the big kid table too? Paragon, there's plenty of room.
But I think there's a big kid here.
Now the poofs are getting closer and they are getting faster.
Are they getting closer specifically
They're
to
getting closer
me
to
or
you.
to
They're getting closer to you.
Oh.
And it's like this thing is like pinballing around you and you can't keep an eye. You're like spinning around in circles to try to keep an eye on it. And it's just flashes of black.
Do you, at this point when she's been talking, are we able to see the poofing kitty?
Give me a precociousness roll.
Oh, great. Well, 8. I rolled a 1.
8 will actually do it, yeah. You don't know exactly what she's looking at. Paragon, her head is just darting back and forth. And you see kind of it's more you see what wasn't there. It's like there's like a disturbance in the air now and then, but she's going back and forth. Henry has enough. He's enough of a Thorther. He's got enough magic that he can kind of almost see the glow of the displacement. Yeah.
So I think Henry says, Augustus. I think something's wrong with Paragon. Let's go.
I could have told you that a long time ago. She's creepy. I mean, tweet. That's the word we use.
Like
tweet.
sticking my arms out and spinning around in circles, trying to see this thing.
Give me another precociousness roll.
Oh no, a 4.
Oh no.
The stops. You're facing the group, and you feel something watching you from behind, directly behind you, and it feels like it's maybe, gosh, it couldn't be more than maybe a foot at the most away from you. And you can feel eyes on your back. And you think to yourself, do I turn? Do I move? What do you want to do? But this thing is right behind you.
Do I see anything, Ignatius?
All you see is her just standing still, like she's been frantically looking back and forth and spinning in circles. Now she's frozen solid. She's standing completely still.
All right, Paragon. It's okay. There's nothing here. Okay? Just us. There's no adult here. Okay?
I can
I
feel
think
it.
I think maybe you're using your imagination too much right now. If that's such a
You
thing.
can tell me if I'm pushing
I
my
don't
luck
see
with this, but would I
nothing.
be able to like lift my hair up to reveal another 2 sets of eyes to see behind me?
How many eyes do you have now? I'm fine with.
I want eyes everywhere.
You've got eyes in the back of your head. All right. I'll tell you what. Okay.
An observer.
I will tell you what. Yes, you can have eyes in the back of your head, but they do not see as well as the eyes in the front of your head.
The googly eye.
That's fair then.
Yeah. So give me another precociousness roll, but for this case, it's going to be a -2.
It's wonderful. It's
Your
1
back
plus
eyes
whatever I
don't see
roll
as
then.
well.
Which was a 6, so it's a 7.
Jeez.
Okay. The eyes, you slowly move. Paragon slowly moves her hands, and she pulls up her hair, and so it's kind of sitting on the top of your head in a messy bun. And these 2 slits in the back of your head open up just a bit, golden orbs shining, and you are back of your head to snout with a cat. Now, this is not a kitty. This is not a kitten. This is a
Not a
cat.
tabaxi.
This is not a tabaxi.
It's not a tabaxi. This is capital C cat. This is 2 steps away from a lion. It's midnight pitch black, and it does not break eye contact with you. Its irises are pitch black as well, or its sclera, I should say, the eyeball part are pitch black, and the irises are just 2 tiny slivers of yellow, and it growls at you slowly, and it blinks out for a second, and then it blinks right back in. And you cover your eyes back up because it's scary. And the rest of you, now you see from behind Paragon's head, this tail, this black snaky tail, just kind of arch over the top of her head and flick back and forth.
Oh,
slowly.
kitty! I love kitties.
And that's where we're going to end it for today.
No.
Ah!
Next time we'll take turns.
Yeah.
Next time, I think you might have to fight off the kitchen cat to get those cookies, but that's where we're gonna stop for today. So before we end, we're in big kid time now. Thoughts about mechanics that we worked on today, or anything that happened today? What is there anything that stuck out as a good way to keep doing things, or do we want to take another look at maybe the way something works or something doesn't work? I know we only did a couple of things today, but I don't want to throw everything into every episode.
I think that the D6 decision is good.
Okay.
It was always kind of confusing which one I was using, and
Okay.
yeah.
We'll still need a D4 for certain perks and stuff, but like
Yeah, like I always thought it was like our base was a D6 and then like perks add a D4, but then sometimes
Mhm.
we were like using a D4 and yeah.
I think it's also the difference between what's a perk, what's a fee, yada yada yada. So do we want to so perks just for the D4 just for perks, or do we want to get rid of the D6 altogether for now?
What
Or
about
D4.
just doing
Or the D4, yeah.
just a +2, like for the perk?
Okay, so just
Like Pathfinder style.
just cut the dice roll all together.
Yeah.
Perks are
Let's
just
take a look.
I mean, just
+2, yeah.
we can try it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
I
Some
kind of
feats
like
do
that
that.
idea.
There's definitely, we already see that with some of the feats, so it could be a way to, shore things up to
Normalize.
make it, to normalize,
Mhm.
or will that make the perks too much like feats? That's something
That was
we can-
I wanted some way to differentiate them, but yeah. Just make it almost like a more powerful feat almost. Yeah.
or vice versa.
Perks are
Yeah.
the ones you only ever get one of, right?
Yeah, you get those
Yeah.
once a rest. Yeah, those are supposed to be yeah.
Oh, maybe
Okay.
then like +4. I don't know. +3. Yeah, +3.
I was gonna say +4 would make them would make them
Very
successes
powerful.
I feel like
every
+2
time.
is
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I just I don't know, maybe feats because the feat I have doesn't involve any numbers, and I know the feat I
feats
had
are-
last
feats are
time
kind of-
didn't either.
yeah. There are a few that do numbers and there are a few that don't. So yeah.
My feat does do a +2 anyway, but it's a different thing. Like I picked two different ones so that I would have, two different
to balance things
Right.
out. Right.
Mhm.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Well, I think if we want to go no roll on the perk, a +3 makes sense because it does make it more powerful than the feats, and it does.
Right.
It
and it
changes
doesn't
the
necessarily
balance buffer.
OP it, and it does
And you
change
just
the
get-
balance. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just get one per rep, whatever. So it's like it's only once that you're gonna get this, be able to
Yeah.
be super
It's
awesome.
almost like saying I want an auto success here, kind of is what that
Right,
right,
basically.
right.
We're darn close
Yeah.
to it,
Right.
Mhm.
So +3. Okay.
So we're
+3
gonna change
is good.
perks to
And then
+3.
feats
So-
are as is.
Yeah, and
Feats are
feats
as is, okay.
they're not limited, right? You just use them all the time.
Depends. Like they
I
often
think
take
it's one-
resources.
or once per round or once per short rest or nap time.
I think I've got feats listed as two per rest. Let me see
Yeah,
what I got.
twice.
But your class abilities you can use as long as you have the resources for them. So those you can continuously use throughout. So
Class abilities are
but-
typically fueled by cookies, right? Or
right, typically, or class abilities tend to always have some sort of
Or you get grumped.
detriment as
something.
well. Yeah. You get this, but you give up that. So your
You
ability
get
to use them is really kind of
Pre-nap
based
rage,
on
get grumped.
yeah. It's based on your ability to kind of balance out all your stuff. What? Why are you eating my foot? All right.
oh, that tastes good.
I hope that's
'Cause I'm a
this
kitten.
actually and not a child.
Yeah, that was a kitten and not my wife. Yeah.
Why?
So I think that makes sense for perks. So
Well, at this point, we've totally phased out the D4 then for everything.
I think we've spaced out the D4. I think we've kind of all
Well, let's at least test it. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we'll go back and forth.
I think it's a smart idea to make it only one dice since we're
Mhm.
trying to go for ease of use.
Right.
Do we ever roll 2d6s or are we always just rolling 1d6 now?
I mean, I think it's just a 1d6 roll and everything. So maybe
I don't
that's
think
how
we've ever had two.
Like advantage, disadvantage, or anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to steer away from advantage disadvantages because it's
But does a gold star
it's a
then
very
do that?
D&D thing. Gold star lets you add 2 of your base stats, but maybe
Oh,
we
okay.
swap that to adding 2d6s. So it's not so overpowered. So we can look into that, once we spend some of our gold stars.
Like add
to
extra
see what-
D6.
Yeah.
I like that idea
Next.
because
Instead of adding 2 stats.
anytime I can add a precociousness roll, I'm adding 7. That's
Yeah, same.
Which is
Yeah.
huge. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
good point. That's a good point.
Because that's like an average. If we're gonna go, what's your score plus a d6? That's your average difficulty probably then.
Yeah. Right.
Mhm.
In
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, that would be a 10,
Right.
Right.
I really want Rocky and Garrett are our very mathematically inclined system folks, and I really need them to kind of look at the numbers more than anything, just to make sure that mathematically this all makes sense. But I think,
Yeah.
I'm definitely leaning away from the D4. I think I was thinking D4 originally just because it since it's such a weird looking die that kids would kind of gravitate towards.
And it's like Legos, so when you step on them,
And so when you step on it, it hurts a heck of a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe just for ease of use, the D6s make more sense. So you can just grab a couple of D6s out of any other game you've got
Yeah.
lying around.
Oh,
You
yeah.
could package that with the game.
Yeah. And people who don't play games don't have to have fancy dice that they don't.
D6.
No.
That they would normally have.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what you think.
Yeah. And thanks for joining us.
Tell us what
for
you think.
Babies and Broadswords.
So thank you so much again. Like everybody said, we'll be putting out episodes of the new episodes of the audio podcast every 2 weeks, and episodes of the video podcast on YouTube the following week. So you'll get just the nitty gritty through your ears one day a week. And if you want to see what the extended with our side conversations and extended stuff on the video and all of our
Bonus
smiley
footage.
faces on YouTube the following week, like and subscribe both places. Hey, and we'll be wherever you can find wherever you listen to your podcasts. So if you found us, I hope you stick around. And please feedback on not only how we're doing as an entertainment podcast, but also how the game is moving along so well. We need all that as well. But from the crew at Even Footing Games, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.